medical professionals, or asking for clarification to determine the best plan of treatment. Across our country and here in our state, I see proposed and enacted legislation that threatens patient rights, that provide a uniform schedule of treatment to a very diverse population of people, that remove any area for questions or personalized care, that aren't based on a proper risk-benefit analysis for the individual, and that impose unconstitutional conditions on the exercise of the universal right of informed consent, mandates that condition the receipt of public benefits such as a free public education and full participation in society only after receiving medical treatment. I find this very concerning, and I'm here to spread truth, ask questions, and encourage you to ask questions as well. The Journal of the American Medical Association published an article in 2005 that reviewed whether winter mortality risk was reduced by influenza vaccination. Quoting the 6 doctors responsible for the investigation, we could not correlate increasing vaccination coverage after 1980 with declining mortality rates in any age group. We conclude that observational studies substantially overestimate vaccination benefit. While vaccination coverage increased in all persons, over a 20-year period, U.S. influenza-related mortality rose substantially as well. Is the flu shot effective in reducing mortality? Are the risks of receiving an annual immunization greater than its benefit? A 2012 report in Oxford Academic Clinical Infectious Diseases found a statistically significant increased risk of non-influenza respiratory virus infections among recipients of the inactivated influenza vaccine. Rhinovirus and Coxsackie especially showed significant increased risk. Do we know how administration of influenza vaccine relates to coronavirus 19? Would it possibly increase the risk of this non-influenza respiratory virus? Another 2018 article found results with an increase in the hazard of non-influenza acute respiratory illness in children 18 years or younger post-influenza vaccination. It calls upon the need for further investigation of this association. Have those studies been completed since 2018? How can I know I'm not putting my child at increased risk of the novel coronavirus from annual flu vaccination? Why is the detergent Triton X 100 a non-ionic surfactant with spermicidal activity used in a majority of our flu vaccines? A 1982 Harvard School of Public Health study reports that mutagenicity and carcinogenicity testing have been overlooked. Where are the studies that show fertility and reproductive issues are not affected by annual injection of Triton X 100?
Carcinogenesis!
I'll make you this here as a school nurse. Formaldehyde is classified by the World Health Organization International Agency for Research on Cancer as Group 1, meaning a causal relationship has been established and there is sufficient evidence of carcinogenic effects in people.
Yes!
In the fall of 2019, Governor Charlie Baker declared a public health emergency for unexplained vaping-associated lung illnesses. The FDA and Department of Health and Human Services released these free posters for me to hang in my health office, showcasing the health concerns of carcinogens like formaldehyde and other toxic chemicals that are found in smoking and vaping products. Why isn't any concern given to the carcinogenic effects of formaldehyde when it's listed as a vaccine ingredient? Where are the studies that show health concerns and childhood cancer are not related to the injected formaldehyde in the current immunization schedule? Mercury, thimerosal, is... Yes, right? Mercury, thimerosal, is still included in multi-dose vials of influenza immunization. If the plan is to vaccinate all school-age children on an annual basis for free, one could also reasonably assume multi-dose vials would be cost-effective to the manufacturer. Will patients and parents be made aware if they are receiving an annual influenza immunization that contains mercury? Will there be enough serum to offer patients the right to choose a dose without? These are some of the questions I would like answers my son with an annual flu vaccine. Just as any child with a life-threatening allergy or celiac disease must review ingredients lists for our vegetarian students, shouldn't we review the disclosed ingredients in an annual injection? When children pack or buy their lunch, don't they have a choice on what they eat that day that aligns with their beliefs and medical needs? Why has a medical treatment become non-elective? I gave my son the 2-dose influenza immunization after 6 months old and chose to skip influenza vaccination the following year. Just as our health, our eating preferences, and our knowledge base changes each year, are we no longer entitled to true informed consent for medical treatment? As a school nurse, every year we must receive updated medical forms of parental consent for each medication, treatment, or standing order given in the school. If a parent, for any reason, does not want their child receiving ibuprofen, I inhaled steroids for asthma, with anti-epileptic drugs for seizures. My son was on phenobarbital for 3 months, no longer on any medication, with behavioral and emotional therapies for anxiety, depression, autism spectrum disorders, and developmental disability, and with possible epinephrine for life-threatening food allergies. The November 2015 Executive Summary from the Legislative Analyst's Office for the State of California reports that the number of students with relatively severe disabilities has been increasing, doubling since 2000.
Don't assault me. Don't assault me. You're live right now. Don't assault me.
1 in
Don't assault
600
me.
students in
You're being live streamed. Don't assault
compared
me.
to 1 in 50 students
She
in
just assaulted me.
2017.
Don't tell me to
Why
stop.
aren't these
Don't
health
tell me to
issues
stop.
that
She just
impact
assaulted
countless
me.
amounts of my
She
students
just
on a daily
please
basis?
get out of my face. Please get away from me. Please don't
Are
do this.
there
Please
public
back up.
health
Please
initiatives
back up.
more important
Please
to
back
our
up.
children?
Please, I'm asking you. Please back up.
I
Just
ask
back
that
up.
you consider what a public
I'm
school
asking you
is.
to back up.
Is it an
Can you please
environment
back
free
up?
from germs
Can you please
entirely?
back up?
No, this is
Well,
not
you're
the case.
invading my space.
A school
Well,
cannot
that's not
promise.
what you're supposed to do. You're invading my space right now.
Can you please back up?
I'm sorry. Can you please back up? Please stop.
A school cannot promise a completely
deserve to be
safe,
treated this
germ-free
way.
environment. There are always
I do not
unknowns,
deserve to be
accidents,
treated this way.
unfortunate events. However, the best we can do as a functioning school is to have an understanding of the risks and processes and protocols in place to address them if they occur. From my experience as a school nurse, I can state that we are doing a wonderful job of monitoring and addressing any health issues that arise in Massachusetts schools. We have appropriately honored medical and religious exemptions to immunizations for decades, and we have policies and protocols in place to approve and track immunizations, to identify students of both vaccinated and unvaccinated status, to provide protection and accommodation to those students that need it, to enforce exclusion and issue quarantine as needed, and to communicate with local and state departments of public health as required.
Can we talk
We
down here?
provide basic health teaching and initiatives such as hand hygiene,
Yeah, but
avoiding the seasonal
Yeah,
cough and
yeah, but can I ask you
etiquette,
something?
and using non-pharmaceutical measures whenever possible to treat common symptoms and disturbances.
Right outside.
Before we mandate an annual medical intervention on every
my
student
sign, and I'm
every
just asking
year,
you not to block it.
shouldn't